Majority Chief Whip Frank Anodonpre is condemning claims that Vice President Bawumia is dishonest and has no real vision of his own. Dr. Bawumia's speech to the nation on Wednesday has been met with fierce resistance from the NDC minority in Parliament, describing him as a dishonest person trying to run away from the record of the current government. We'll hear from Frank Anodonpre shortly. First, listen to Minority Leader Dr. Ato Forson taking on Vice President Dr. Bawumia for claiming he will abolish some taxes imposed by the government he is part of.
It should be noted that our Vice President currently has the powers to remove any tax if he so wishes. This is obviously for a simple reason that, one, our Vice President is the chairman of the economic management team. He chairs the deliberations of all economic policies at his office. Aside that, he is also a member of President Akufo-Addo's cabinet. In fact, he is the second in command of President Akufo-Addo's cabinet. He chairs some of the cabinet meetings in the absence of the president. And in fact, in certain days that they are discussing issues relating to the economy, he more or less co-chairs with the president. So all of these economic policies that President Akufo-Addo has implemented since 2017 were actually supervised by our vice president. And it should be noted, his position has further been strengthened because he's now the leader of the NPP, the governing NPP, for the governing party of the Republic of Ghana. He's their flag bearer and the leader of the party. So if he means well, he has whatever it takes to bring a bill to Parliament to get these taxes removed now. What we are asking him to do is simple. The NDC currently opposes all these taxes he has talked about. In fact, we have opposed it here in Parliament. We've opposed it in public. Our flag bearer, His Excellency President Mahama, has made public pronouncement that when given the power, will remove it. He's only copying him. Aside copying him, I want to urge him that, and urge the people of Ghana, the only reason why these taxes are still effective is because the NDC is not in office. So now that MPP is in the office, and the Vice President indeed is the chairman of the economic management team, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, the second in command in the Akufo-Addo's administration, and also the leader of the MPP, he has whatever it takes to bring the bill to Parliament, if he so desires. And let me add this. These bills were first presented to this House when he was sitting here. He came to Parliament with the minister responsible for finance to impose the e-levy. He can't turn around to come back and to tell all of us that he's not part of it. But let me add that the General Secretary of MPP sits in cabinet. He left cabinet and informed the people of Ghana that the Vice President approved the e-levy and voted for the e-levy. The minister responsible for information, my brother Kodu Oponkroma, is a member of cabinet. He says that the bill was prepared by the Vice President. So for him to prepare one bill, ask Parliament, whip all their members of Parliament to vote for, and to turn around to say that they should remove the tax is very disgraceful and shameful. In fact, I want to add that this shows the kind of credibility he has. He has no credibility.
Tamale North MP Al-Hassan Suhini explained that the Vice President cannot claim credit from the positives of this government and run away from the negatives.
Well, I think that it is ridiculous listening to His Excellency the Vice President approbate and reprobate. Here is a man who claims credit for some of the things that look right in the administration that he is part of, and shamelessly runs away from some of the obvious failures of this administration. When we were told from day one and in between that he is an integral part of the policy decisions of this government, and not once has he ever denied those claims, either made by the senior minister made by the information minister or made by the party general secretary. Not once has he ever denied the claims that he's an integral part of the policy decisions of this government. And so for him to shamelessly come out at this time to project himself as one who is not to be held responsible for some of the failures of this government, but one deserving of credit for some of the things that are, seemingly positive of this government, can only be a mark of, excuse my language, a dishonest person. I mean, I think that it is shameful. It takes politics to a new low. I mean, how on earth do you, a candidate on a party ticket, present what seems like your personal manifesto? We do not know the NPP's manifesto yet. In fact, when I was listening to him for a moment, I thought he was the one who formed the butterfly movement. Because clearly, I mean, it beats one's imagination that he sounds like he is an embodiment of the NPP. Because clearly, the NPP, I'm sure, will have a manifesto for the 2024 general elections. Or that is what he was outdooring as his own personal manifesto. And in doing so, interestingly, he is seen contradicting the NPP's government policies. So it's like my personal manifesto contradicts the government policies. I dare say that if we are not careful, even the NPP's manifesto will contradict his personal policies. So perhaps, maybe Alan should have been on that NPP ticket. After all, he's a party man. And maybe he should have been, with the butterfly trying to, bring about the emergence of a third force. I think that Dr. Bawumia is clearly confused. He's lost directions, he's lost focus. The deception is no longer working. And I think that this new trick is just what it is, a trick.
We can now hear from Majority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre, who jumped to the Vice President's defense, insisting Dr. Bawumia is fit for the job.
Also confirm and believe in him that given the mandate, he will be able to lead our country to where we are all desirous of seeing. So for me, it was important. Impressive. Yeah, that is his view. That is his view, and he explained. He explained that he's what do you call it? A mate on a trotro driven by a competent driver. Given the mandate, he himself would do something different. Yes, for me, it's significant. And many people will not be able to do that. Many people will not be able to do that, to look into your boss's face and tell him that I'm going to be different, I will do this differently. That's a mark of boldness.
Isn't it early days yet for him to scrap off these things that he intends to roll out?
I don't know what you call early days, but the man is seeking to lead a country. And once you are seeking to lead the country, you are also expected to speak to some challenges and some issues that is bothering us. And for me, there's no question mark about being early days yet. He's setting the tone. Somebody is moving around the country campaigning, and you want him to sit down.